welcome. I'm Geeta Mohan and you're watching India Today Global. Now, days after US President Donald Trump announced his 20-point Gaza peace plan, reports are suggesting that the Hamas is likely to reject Trump's peace plan that would end the war in Gaza and see the release of the remaining 48 hostages. According to BBC, a senior official of the terrorist organization said that the plan serves Israel's interests and ignores those of the Palestinian people. The official further added that Hamas also refuses to disarm and surrender its weapons. It also rejects any presence of an international stabilization force in the Gaza Strip, both of which are essential over here. And joining us live to discuss this and more is Ambassador Abdullah Abu Shawesh. He's the Palestinian envoy to India. This is a major exclusive conversation that we're going to have with him. Thank you so much, Ambassador Shawesh, for joining us. Your first reaction to Gaza peace process, the plan by President Trump, and how does your government, your administration look at this entire plan?
Thank you so much indeed, Geeta, for having me. It was not called a peace plan. It's called Trump Comprehensive Plan to End the Gaza Conflict. Because wording have a meaning, this is very important. Regarding our official position as a Palestinian, because the title itself have a lot of issue that we can talk about it. But regarding our official position as a Palestinian Liberation Organization, President Abbas and the Palestinian Authority, of course, we used to be very clear from the beginning of this genocidal war 2 years ago. We are welcoming any effort that will end the genocidal textbook war on Gaza, the Israeli genocidal war, the Israeli ongoing slaughtering campaign on Gaza right now. And we will come any effort that will make sure that the humanitarian aid will reach to our people in Gaza. This is our official position long time ago. 2 days ago, President Abbas issued an official position paper on this regard to welcome this, effort or a plan to end the Gaza conflict. So
Ambassador, but you're talking about the entire plan. Now, we do know that the Palestinian administration has accepted the plan because they wanted ceasefire and aid to reach Gaza. This is not welcoming of the entire plan, where you're talking about other aspects which do not really commit to a two-state solution.
Yes. In there long time ago, and so that I make it as introduction to the to say that we or our official positions that we welcome this. But when it came to it, we cannot consider it as an official a plan for peace at all, for tens of reasons that we can talk about it. But again, when we talk about official plan for peace, for example, it should be rooted or based on the international law and international agreed resolution. And the end goal of it should be the two-state solution. This is not the case at all in this plan to end the conflict in Gaza. Then this, when you mention that this war is a conflict, this 2 years of continuous genocide in Gaza, just to minimize it, to end the Gaza conflict. This is as if you gave escape path to the fugitive for justice, Benjamin Netanyahu and his group. So that and also when we look to this plan to end again the war, the conflict in Gaza, there is many legitimate concern for us as a Palestinian authority, as Palestinian official. But again, we already welcomed it, and again welcome it based on that this might be an effort to end the ongoing bloodshed in Gaza, and the effort to put to make sure that there is no more Palestinian child will going to die due to the malnutrition and hunger.
Okay, Ambassador, you make a very important point when you say that this is not the entire aspect of what Palestine or Palestinians are looking at, but there are certain specifics over here, and I'd like you to talk about that. One is that the plan has asked the Hamas to give up arms. Do you think Hamas is really going to agree to this one?
I gonna tackle this question from 2 points of view. First and foremost, this is our request as a Palestinian National Authority long time ago during our discussion of the unity with Hamas. The only one who refused this unity and stand very strong against it and supported Hamas with the money itself was supported Hamas with the money again itself was the current Prime Minister to make sure that the rift between the Palestinian people is to continue and there is no two-state solution. And this is a declared position from his side. So that when we talk about this, we declared our position. President Abbas was very clear. One legitimate security for us. One word, loud and clear. This is the exact issue that Benjamin Netanyahu, before October 7th, refused it and still refused it. Second, when you talk about weapons, this means that the most ambiguous issue here is that the people worldwide believe that there is another army in Gaza is fighting against the Israeli army. Israeli army is ranked 15 in the 15 power army worldwide. When it came to Gaza or the remaining part of Hamas, if there is a remaining part of Hamas or remaining members of Hamas there, you cannot compare to say weapons and demilitarizing Hamas and demilitarizing the Palestinian people and all of this stuff. The third point that I would like to tackle it that our official position was declared just a few days ago, less than 3 days ago. Even we are looking for a demilitarized state for sacrifice to make sure that there will be a peace. The one who's refusing all of this, the one who was benefited from Hamas weapons, used to benefit, still benefiting, and will continue to benefit from Hamas weapons, so to speak, if so, to say weapons, is only Israel and the current Prime Minister Benjamin
Ambassador,
Netanyahu.
Ambassador, there are other countries also who have come out and accepted this plan, and the Arab world is one such. What are your expectations from the Arab world? Should they have really come together and stood behind Trump not really giving space to the Palestinian people or the cause of Palestine? And I'll come to India afterwards.
No, not the Arab, not only the Arab. We had now 80% plus of the United Nations General, as a United Nations member state is supporting the Palestinian people, supporting the question of the Palestine, supporting the two-state solution based in 1967 border with East Jerusalem as it is capital, supporting, of course, the peaceful resolution of the Palestinian question based again on the international agreed resolution and the international law. So that we are not isolated. This is the position of the Arab, this is the position of India, this is the position of Russia, this is the position of everyone worldwide except Israel itself and the American, so to speak, the American. But Israel, loud and clear, is rejecting this solution.
Okay. You're talking about a lot of countries having accepted, but Russia and China have not come out and accepted this plan. They've not welcomed it. You see that India has, Prime Minister Modi has indeed welcomed the position and the plan. But do you see a shift in India's foreign policy when it comes to the two-state solution that India vehemently supported through decades?
When it came to the macro level, and we used to judge the people and the countries and the states according to the macro level and how did their behavior with us in the United Nations General Assembly, India is still talking about and supporting, of course, not talking, is supporting the two-state solution. India just less than 2 weeks endorsed another resolution that endorsed the New York Declaration, which is to cementing the two-state solution, so that India was there India still of course with the international law and with the Palestinian people, and India will continue to be there. We know that there's of course India have its own interests, political interests, economic interests, which is sometimes became very close to Israel in these particular two field of bilateral relation. But in the macro level, again, India uh, used to still, and we're pretty sure that it will continue to
Okay.
be supporting the Palestinian question.
Okay, Ambassador Shawesh, thank you so much for joining us here on the network and putting and shedding light on what the Gaza peace plan of Trump really looks like for Palestine, for the region and the world. Pakistan Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar stated that Pakistan top leadership will soon decide on sending its troops to Israel and to Gaza particularly. This comes as Pakistani Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif has changed his stance on Israel-Gaza war post his meeting with US President Donald Trump.
After US President Donald Trump announced his 20-point Gaza peace plan, several nations welcomed the proposal and expressed support for peace in the war-torn Gaza enclave. Pakistan was among the first to endorse the plan, even hinting at sending troops to the Israel-Gaza border. Pakistan Deputy Prime Minister, who also serves as Foreign Minister, Ishaq Dar, stated that the Trump administration has incorporated Islamabad's suggestions into the plan. He also warned that the 8 Muslim countries which submitted joint proposals would reject Trump's plan if their inputs were ignored. Dar further stated that Pakistan was ready to contribute troops to an international stabilization force, with the final decision to be taken by the country's top leadership soon.
को अगर कोई अच्छा काम है तो उसको आप मेहरबानी करके कंट्रोवर्शियल ना बनाएं। आपके मैसेज अक्रॉस दी वर्ल्ड जाएंगे। एक तरफ पैलेस्टीनियन अथॉरिटी उसको वेलकम कर रही है और उसको शुक्रिया अदा कर रही है यूएस का और जिन्होंने ये काम किया। दूसरी तरफ हमारे लोग हैं कुछ चंद एक वो अपने उसको नेगेटिव स्पिन देने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। उस सियासत में बड़े और एरियाज हैं, सियासत आप उसमें कर लें, लेकिन इसको खुदा के लिए सियासत की नज़र करना मैं समझता हूँ कि it is grossly unfair.
But Pakistan's bid to defend and acknowledge Trump's plan is nothing but a bid to please President Trump. And this is visible in Pakistan Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif's latest tweet, which he posted soon after Trump announced his peace plan. Sharif clearly had anti-Israel stance before meeting Trump, which changed post the meeting. While Sharif called crisis in Gaza genocide, even while he addressed the UN General Assembly, he changed it to war in Gaza post-meeting. But what raised eyebrows was Islamabad's swift embrace of Trump's plan is widely seen as Islamabad's attempt to win favor with Washington. The shift is most evident in Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif's tone. Once a vocal critic of Israel, Sharif's stance softened dramatically after his meeting with Trump. At the UN, he had described Gaza as facing genocide, but later began referring it to as a war.
In Gaza, Israel's genocidal onslaught has unleashed unspeakable terror upon women and children in a manner we have not witnessed in annals of history.
Not just that, Sharif, who earlier branded Israel a Zionist regime and demanded an end to genocide, now speaks of Israel and the Palestinian people and calls only for an end to the war. The contrast underscores Pakistan's shifting stance, more about pleasing Washington and President Trump than standing firm on its earlier principles. Pakistan's stance highlights how political convenience often outweighs principles, especially when it comes to winning favor with the White House. Vineha Kumari, Bureau Report, India Today.
The US government has shut down several key operations after the Senate failed to extend funding. With the Congress and the White House deadlocked, thousands of federal jobs are now at risk. This marks the first government shutdown in over 6 years. To discuss this and more, I'm being joined by Rohit Sharma from Washington, D.C. Rohit, it's day one of government shutdown in the United States of America. How does it look?
Well, it's been 14 hours, Geeta, and they have already attempted another vote in the Senate to keep the government open and did not go through. But I think, it is essentially, one of those things that, the legislators have been trying to do. We've been told that the Democrats will cave in and they will vote for the CR this Friday, hopefully, to keep the government open. But as of right now, we have about 1 million people at DOD who are working without pay, and that is a concern. And if this shutdown, goes into another week, they could miss a paycheck. So there are alarming signs right now. There are essential people who are working. Non-essential people have been asked to stay home, and government agencies are trying to come up with a plan to cope up with a longer period of government shutdown.
All right. It seems like the situation is indeed dire. Rohit Sharma, keep tracking that story through the day, and we'll come back to you for the latest. The ordeal of the minority Hindu community continues in Pakistan. In a recent incident in Mirpur Khas, Sindh, hundreds of Dalit and tribal Hindus took to the streets protesting the government's apathy toward the forced conversion of a minor girl, Pooja Meghwar. According to local Hindu rights activists, during a court hearing in Mirpur Khas, Pooja Meghwar, who was recently converted under alleged coercion, ran toward her parents upon seeing them but was not allowed to meet them. Meanwhile, inside the court premises, the men accused of her abduction physically assaulted Pooja Meghwar's father and brother, and instead of protecting the victims, a case of brawling was registered and Pooja's father was taken into custody. Saudi Arabia's biggest comedy festival is underway, running from September 26th to October 9th, featuring some of the biggest names in American stand-up comic. The star-studded lineup includes Dave Chappelle, Louis C.K., Bill Burr, Kevin Hart, Whitney Cummings, Pete Davidson, Aziz Ansari, Joe Coy, and many others, all performing under contracts directly funded by the Saudi government. But the festival has sparked backlash. Human rights activists and fellow comics have slammed the performers, accusing them of helping Riyadh whitewash its record of human rights abuse. At least 69 people have been killed after a powerful 6.9 magnitude earthquake struck the Philippines, making it the country's deadliest disaster this year. The province of Cebu, which bore the brunt of the damage, declared a state of calamity early today. Thousands spent the night in the streets as repeated aftershocks rattled the region. The tremor triggered power outages and caused widespread damage to buildings in the central Visayas region. The disaster comes just over a week after back-to-back typhoons left more than 20 people dead. Rescue operations are underway.
Lord Jesus Christ, Lord Jesus. Lord Jesus Christ. Lord. Lang, kusog kaayo ang linog lang. Lord Jesus. Relax, 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 relax. Lord Jesus Christ. Relax, relax, relax. Lord Jesus. Lord
Louis Vuitton showcased a collection of flouncy skirts and sculptural ruffles in front of a star-packed audience, while Stella McCartney had War and Peace on her mind on her show on day 2 of Paris Fashion Week. Sujata Sharda with this report.
Day 2 of Paris Fashion Week was all about stunning contrasts, intimate luxury and star-studded moments. Starting with our favourite Zendaya, who landed squarely in the fashion headlines as she graced the Louis Vuitton show at the Louvre. Dolled up in a silvery metallic mini-coat dress with fur-trimmed cuffs, which was part elegance, part bold statement. Louis Vuitton's collection leaned into the art of living soft knitwear, robe-like coats, cozy cardigans and relaxed silhouettes set against a setting of gilded halls and sculptural grandeur. Other highlights of day 2 included Stella McCartney, who opened her show at the Centre Pompidou with a powerful message. Her collection was 98% sustainable and 100% cruelty-free. At Courageous, creative director Nicolas De Felice embraced sleek futurism with helmet-like wheels, seamless boots and sculptural coats. Day 2 proved the Paris Fashion Week isn't just about spectacle, it's about tension between comfort and drama. With Sujata Sharda, Bureau Report, India Today.
That's all in this edition of India Today Global. Stay tuned to the network for all the news and updates. Goodbye and take care.